The president addresses a protester. These things happen at the rallies. Protester was being dragged out. The president said, "Hey, you're overweight. You need to go home and exercise." Well, turns out that wasn't a protester. It was a guy named Frank Dawson, 31 years in law enforcement in U.S. Navy, retired. And we have an exclusive interview. We talked to him afterwards. Here's what Frank Dawson said. Listen. Turns out he was talking to you.
He was, because he didn't see me rip the signs away from those three people that were sitting near us. And they were trying to cause a ruckus, and they jumped up and they started yelling something. I don't even care what they were yelling, but it wasn't going to happen beside me because I'm trying to listen to my president. But I think he thought I was part of it, but I wasn't. I was the good part of it.
What did he say to you?
He said, "Hey, that guy needs to lose a little weight." Everything's good. I love the guy. He's the best thing that ever happened in this country.
Now, look, I'm not a therapist, but that sounds an awful lot like Stockholm Syndrome. This response came after Trump mocked the man who he thought was a protester at his New Hampshire rally yesterday for his serious weight problem, only to find out that he wasn't a protester at all, but actually a supporter. And once Trump found this out after the rally, he even went so far as to call the guy. Not because you shouldn't humiliate another person for his or her weight, especially from the bully pulpit of the presidency, but because the only thing he cares about is others' loyalty to himself. So when he realized that he'd just embarrassed one of his own fans because he has the self-control of a 9-year-old when it comes to lobbing tired schoolyard insults, he must have figured it was the least he could do. The actual least he could do. With that said, regardless of whether it's a protester or supporter, this might not be the best hill for Trump to die on. I know the number one rule of the Trump administration is to never sit anything out, but this guy, well, sitting seems to be the one exercise he's actually good at. To be clear, Donald Trump is legally obese with a body mass index of 30.4. At least that's what the guy on his payroll says. But the weight isn't the issue. It's the hypocrisy of calling someone out for having a serious weight problem when you have a serious weight problem. And as if that hypocrisy wasn't enough, listen to what Trump says immediately after calling the supporter out.
That guy's got a serious weight problem. Go home, start exercising. Get him out of here, please. Got a bigger problem than I do. Got a bigger problem than all of us. Now he goes home and his mom says, "What the hell have you just done?" We are continuing our incredible movement, the greatest political movement in the history of our country. There's never been a movement like this, never. Our movement is built on love, and it is.
Our movement is built on love. Like irony never even existed. But this isn't the first time that Trump has heckled someone at his rally, although it was the first time he heckled one of his own fans. He's been known to lob insults and even instigate violence against those in attendance.
Confiscate his coat. You know, it's about 10 degrees below zero outside. He's going home to his mom. Say hello to mommy. You know, it's amazing. I mentioned food stamps, and that guy who's seriously overweight went crazy. He went crazy. You know what I hate? There's a guy totally disruptive, throwing punches. We're not allowed to punch back anymore. I love the old days. You know what they used to do to guys like that when they were in a place like this? They'd be carried out on a stretcher, folks.
And that comes in stark contrast to the guy who Trump's predicated his entire presidency on destroying.
Hold up! Everybody sit down and be quiet for a second. Everybody sit down and be quiet for a second. Now listen up. I'm serious, listen up. You've got an older gentleman who is supporting his candidate. He's not doing nothing. You don't have to worry about him. You should. This is what I mean about folks not being focused. First of all, hold up. Hold up. First of all, we live in a country that respects free speech. So, second of all, it looks like maybe he might have served in our military, and we got to respect that. Third of all, he was elderly, and we got to respect our elders. And fourth of all, don't boo. Oh! Don't boo. Oh! Come on!
And look, in the end, I'm no political strategist, but I do tend to think that one general way to curry support from people is to not call them fat to an arena full of people. That said, if those people then turn around and continue to support the guy, well, I feel like that tells you everything you need to know about the people you'll find at a Trump rally.